We want to divide x squared plus 5x minus 7 by x plus 3. X times x makes x squared, but you do have to distribute your x to both of those terms. So you do x squared plus 3x. I'm multiplying the x by the x to get x squared, and then the x by 3 to get 3x. And then we want to subtract the entire thing. I always put parentheses around the thing I'm subtracting so that I make sure both terms get subtracted. X squared minus x squared cancels. Those go away. And then we'll have 5x minus 3x, which makes 2x. Then you bring down the minus 7. Now you just want to repeat the process and think, how can I multiply x plus 3 by something to get at least 2x? You want to focus on getting rid of this part first, so you don't really care about 7 at this time. So the best choice would be to multiply by a 2, because if we do send that 2 to the x, it'll make 2x. And here we'll get 6. So you get 2x plus 6. And then just subtract that. Got to be careful with the negatives. Negative 13. And then we would actually stop there, because there's nothing we can multiply this by to get just a number. You're going to have at least x involved. So we would stop there and say the answer is x plus 2 with a remainder of negative 13 is one way to do it, but also sometimes we want to go as far as to show that that 13 should be divided by x plus 3, but we can't do it because x won't go into 13. And so this would be a great final answer right here. So we want to put our 12x squared minus 11x plus 10 inside the division symbol. Put the 4x minus 5 outside. And now we got to think about, what could we multiply 4x by to get 12x squared? So I think 3x would be great. 3x times 4x would make 12x squared. And when you're doing the first step, it's all about just trying to get something that's matching with this first term. And you don't really care about what happens here. You could deal with that later. So then you multiply, you get 12x squared minus 15x. You do want to put parentheses around that and then subtract it though. Alright, so 12x squared cancels. Notice here that we've created a double negative. You have to distribute that negative to both. And if it helps at all, one thing you might do is to actually move that negative inside the parentheses. So what I mean is, if you actually distribute it, then you would get this. So this is actually negative 11x plus 15x, which makes 4x. You bring down the 10, and then we've already got a 4x there, so we can just multiply by a 1 there. Copy down everything. We'll subtract. once again, we've got a double negative. So this is actually going to be 10 plus 5, which makes 15. So we've got 3x plus 1 with a remainder of 15, which is going to be 3x plus 1 plus 15 over 4x minus 5. Well, we should be able to check our work using an online calculator. Alright, so this calculator here is called symbolab.com, and it should be able to do polynomial divisions like this. So I'll check my first one, x squared plus 5x minus 7 over x plus 3. That was letter A there. It says the result should be x plus 2 minus 13 over x plus 3. That's what I got. Good. Alright, now let's check the second one. Alright, it's saying it should be 3x plus 1 plus 15 over 4x minus 5. Great, that checks as well. Alright, if you didn't totally get the right answer on C, why don't you try D? D's pretty similar. We can do that one, and then I'll do B, because B has one extra thing which makes it just a little tricky, but you try D first, and I'll give my answer to that one. Okay, I'll give my answer here. Alright, so gonna start with 15x squared plus 17x minus 20 we'll divide by 3x plus 4. Alright, so you want to examine this thing closely and see what times 3x makes 15x squared. I should multiply by 5x. Alright, so now I distribute that, get 15x squared plus 20x. We want to subtract all that. That gives us a negative 3x. And if I multiply by a negative 1, I think that'll take care of this. That's two negatives in a row, so it's double negative, which really means we should add. So the 3x's cancel. There we go. Alright, so sometimes you might end up with ones where you have to put a extra term in that isn't appearing in the original. So I'll show you what I mean here with this letter B. So in B, we see that the x term, the single x term, is missing. And so that's a problem for these. You don't want to just skip over it and go like straight to the plus 6 there. You actually want to leave a space for the x term, the single x term. So if any term doesn't appear, just put a 0 coefficient in its place. And you'll see why when we do the problem. Alright, if I'm going to do 2x times something makes 4x cubed, I think I need 2x squared. So 2x times 2x squared makes 4x cubed. That works out well. We get that. We'll subtract to get negative 12x squared here. I'll bring down my 0x. Now I think if I multiply by a negative 6x next, I can create negative 12x squared. We'll get that. These cancel out. We'll get 18x plus 6. So I want to add 9. So 9 times 2x makes 18x. 9 times 3 makes 27. 6 minus 27 will make a remainder of negative 21. Alright, so our final answer then could be 2x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 21 over the original divisor, which is 2x plus 3. You might try e there, because e is missing an x squared and an x term. So you want to fill in zeros for their coefficients when you write it inside the division symbol. Okay, good luck. Okay, let's see how you did here. Copy down the problem. We want to fill in for the x squared term and fill in for the x term. X plus 1 goes on the outside. First I'll multiply by x squared. Bring down the 0x. Let's see, we'll want to multiply by a negative x. And oh, this one works out pretty well. Looks like we'll have no remainder there. It'll just be x squared minus x plus 1.